she's, you know, it's all good. Right. The blocks I asked you to have, I didn't suggest a belt. If you've got something to hand, that would be helpful. And we're going to come to sitting. We're going to sit in deer pose. So I've got my right foot, so my left foot against my right thigh. You can see me okay? So this is called deer pose. So this is working into the hips immediately. You might want to go on a block if that feels a bit too strong. But otherwise, we're going to sit in deer. If that feels too strong, then I would suggest coming to your knees. And this is a really good knee strengthener anyway, yeah? So go with what feels right for you. I'm going to go with this because I need it for my hips. And then we're going to do some alternate nostril breathing. So you're going to cover over the right and breathe in through the left. Close off the left and breathe out through the right. Breathe back in through the right. Close that off and breathe out through the left. That's one round, back in through the right. People traditionally use the thumb and the little finger and the index finger, but it's completely up to you. Breathing out through the right. Back in through the right. Close that off and out through the left. So that's 2 rounds. Back in through the left. Closing that off, out through the right. Back in through the right. Close that off and out through the left. Back in through the left. Closing that off, out through the right. Back in through the right. And out through the left. So do 2 more rounds on your own. That was 4 rounds. So back in through the left and off you go. Think about rolling the shoulders back. Bring it up space. Breath should be even, smooth. There's no holding of the breath. Okay, once you've done the 6 rounds, then just switch with your feet and come to the other side. So we're going to sit in, this is called deer pose. And you might find one side's tighter than the other. So feel free, if you might not be on a block on the other side, if you can feel yourself sort of tilting, then please do come to sitting on a block and give yourself a bit more space in the hips. And I'd like you to take a couple of deep inhales through the nose. If you'd rather carry on with alternate nostril breathing, feel free to do that. Otherwise, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Possibly bring the hands onto the belly and the ribs and attempt to get the breath into the abdomen. And we'll let that go. So we are going to take our left hand down onto the floor and bring our right hand up and over. You can take the hand off the back of the head if you prefer and look up. Again, no strain on the knee, okay? You want this to be a nice stretch in the side. So if you do want to go higher, you'll find you get a deeper stretch. And then swap and go the other way. And then go back up. again. And this time, we're going to come forward and go over the right knee. Stretching forwards, coming over the right knee with active hands. Okay, so I've got my fingers, I'll just change which one's camera. I've got my fingers tented, we call it. So I've got my fingertips like that. Okay. So we're coming forwards and over. So today we're getting a nice stretch in the side of the body. And then from here, coming to the centre, lift up, lengthen through the spine, and then release down. Think about the breath, staying with the breath. So really coming into the body, you might feel in this position that the body torso sort of rises up on the inhale. You get a floating sensation. So keep connecting to the breath, which is a great way of forgetting about anything that happened just before class and really coming in to the session and to your body. And now just see how far across you can go. Might not be very far. Same thing, lifting up in the length and then exhale. Coming forwards. And then come back to centre and come up and swap sides. We'll do that all on the other side. So coming back into our first deer pose. And then on an inhale, we're going to take the hand up in the air to get some space. So left hand's come up in the air just to get some space on the side of the body. And then exhaling over. Again, hand can come onto back of the head if you like, which is good for thinking about bringing your elbow back and keeping the spine from tilting forwards and keeping the stretch there in the side of the body. And then inhale up. Moving on the breath, I'm pushing myself back up and taking the left hand again across the body, across the head. You're getting a side stretch in the left hand side. So you want no strain in the knee. I can't stress that enough. Tightness in the hips can result in your knees trying to take the strain, and you really don't want that. And then come back up to sitting. Come over the bent knee, so coming over the left knee, tented the hands again, get that length, so imagine you're reaching down, it's just a little bit out of reach, and then let the body sink down. Again, connect to the breath, feel the breath causing the torso to ripple slightly and rise up and down, and then coming into the centre, lift up and lengthen through the spine, exhale down. And then finally, coming over the right, towards the right knee. Don't have to be over the right knee, it's just getting the stretch. Now on the deeper on the left and also in the hips. Same thing, exhaling down. Relaxing into the pose. You want to feel yourself relaxing, not straining, more releasing and letting go. And then back to centre, come up to sitting. And I'd like you to take the legs out in front of you. Make your own socks. just adjust it so you feel comfortable on your sit bones. So I'm just pulling sort of padding out to the sides, and then arms coming up in the air. Get that length again, and exhale, folding forwards. Bring the hands onto the shins probably. And exhale. Belly drawn in and up, folding forwards. If you are able to get hold of the feet and that feels comfortable for you, then that's another option, but it's all about a nice stretch. Opening up the back of the body, back to the legs. Has everyone got a wall nearby? So a quad stretch that I might like to do. You're going to be able to find a wall nearby. I'll show you what we're going to do, and you can think about whether this is going to work. So, I did say it. So what the procedure is put both feet back on the wall. And then I'm going to place a block under my left foot, which is so the block's back by the wall, and the left knees come onto the block, and the foot's going up the wall. Okay, and then the right foot is coming forward. The best way to get into this pose would be to take the right foot out to the side and then come around, okay? And you can stay like this, or you can think about bringing the hands onto the thigh, so whatever, so it's a quad stretch, you're getting in here. So I'd really be pushing my bottom back towards the wall, and I would actually be closer to the wall. I think would be ideal. So I'm going to adjust my position and take the block in a bit further. So I'll repeat that again. If you can do this alongside me, if you've got a block or a cushion would work. So you take the left knee onto the block, and the leg is going up the wall, obviously, and then you're going to take your hands out. It can be either side, but you take them out to the side to make it easier to get into the position. So I think it's best actually to take the arms over to the left. Bring the right foot onto the floor, and then you can stay down, or you can possibly come up. So this is going to work here. See how that feels. Roll the shoulders back and down. Don't put any strain in the knee. And you're sort of pushing your bottom back towards the wall. That's going to give you a sense of the stretch. A little bit of a wobble. So a nice deep stretch in the quadriceps, which is the front legs on the thigh. Same thing with the breath. Take a big inhale and imagine lengthening, loosening, releasing. So you've got actually spaciousness on the inhale and then a lengthening on the exhale. And then we're going to swap sides. So again, coming down, possibly taking the foot out to the side to come down for the right foot, coming onto both knees, and swapping sides. So now my right knee is on the block. I'm going to come over to the right, take my left foot up. Feel free to stay here. Go from where you're getting a pleasant stretch. You don't want anything too intense. Up we come. So really go for what feels right for you today. If you've been running, then this is going to be particularly, it could be a bit more challenging. That tightens up the quadriceps and the hips in general. And the same thing, once you've got into a position, think about relaxing, deepening the breath, And it's a targeted stretch. It will be the quadriceps. So sending the spaciousness of the breath there on the inhale, and then lengthening the muscles and releasing on the exhale. And if you want to search for more sensation, just pushing your bottom back towards the wall. If it's uncomfortable on the knees, please just come straight out. And then release. So bringing the hands down, side if that helps, or bringing them into the floor, and then releasing the right leg. Great. So staying on all fours, we're going to come into cat-cow. So arching the back, inhaling, stretching up. Moving on your own breath, so we're still working with connecting to the breath. This is a great one. Exhale, really arch up. And then on the inhale, top of the head, bottom towards the ceiling. Arch up. Now I'd like you to, we're going to rotate the right arm. And we're not going to bring it under and stay under. We're going to do moving on the breath, bringing the hand down, and then inhale back up. Okay, so this is working into the shoulders. So first of all, we'll do 4 rotations, taking the arm back, following the hand with your eyes to get a nice stretch for the neck, shoulders. And then after you've done that 4 times, you're going to bring the hand through. And then inhale, hand comes back up into the air. So hopefully you saw that. We'll start together. Inhale down. And up. Actually, it could be either way with the breath. Exhale down if that feels better, but moving on the breath. Shoulders coming towards the floor. We'll do that 5 times. And then on the last time, we will stay down for a minute. Okay, then come to resting. And then bring the hand up and back into cat-cow, 2 cat-cows. And repeat that on the other side. So the first movement is to take the hands up, rotate the arm back, taking the shoulder to a full rotation 4 times, following the hand with the eye as much as is possible. And then the arms coming up in the air. And we're exhaling underneath the body. Inhaling up into the air again. Exhaling underneath the body. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. And then staying down for the last one. So inhaling up. Exhaling. If you need to, please do support the shoulder and the head with a pillow if coming down feels too strong on the shoulders. So the shoulder and a side stretch. If you're comfortable there and you want to bring the top shoulder back further, you can wrap the hand right. And so it comes onto the back hip. So my right shoulder is the upper shoulder, and I've got my hand towards my left hip that's come across the back. and then release. Come back to cat-cow. Do 2 more cat-cows. And then just release the hands. So take the arms stay straight, there's no weight bearing at all, and you're placing the back of one hand onto the floor. And that will be, the stretch will be in the tendons on the wrist, yeah? Don't mind being slightly in different places as well, but it's a very strong counter stretch. If you think you don't normally have your hand in this position when you're typing or doing any desk work writing, and then swap sides and do the same for the other. Okay, and then we're going to take our right arm out and our left leg, and exhale, bring them towards each other. Inhale, 5 times each side. Exhale together. Inhale, stretch out. Exhale together. 3, 4, and 5. And then bring that hand down and do the same on the opposite side. So arm comes out, foot goes out. Exhale, scrunch together. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, scrunch together. So very good, not just for the core, also for the lower back, strengthening the lower back. Hold it back. 3, 4, and 5. Okay. Now turn and look back to get side stretch. So you're looking for your tail. Swaying, really swaying the hips. Moving one way, and then the other. Okay. So let's do that 4 times, looking over each side. And then what I'm going to ask you to do is probably just come onto your knees for a minute. So come into, this is called hero's pose. Again, really good for the knees, to have a look at what I'm going to do. So I'd say sit on top of the blocks. So you want to have a block, or you want to have a cushion. I wouldn't recommend having a book for this one. Okay? So what we're going to do, you take the feet up, put the block between the feet, okay, and then take the feet down. You might not go all the way to the floor. Go easy. If you know you've got your back's tender, and then bring the feet up, take the block. Blocks come over the head, back up, get hold of the block. Block comes down, hands gone overhead. Hands up, put the block up, take the block back. And you can keep the feet in the air if you know your back's sensitive, or you can take the feet away. So we all start, with the block. Watch a bit more if you're not sure. Otherwise, we'll start with the block between the feet. I wouldn't have a book just in case it fell. Even the thought of it falling might make you feel a bit anxious. And then when you're ready, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the feet away. And then bring the feet back up. Draw the belly in. So inhale, draw it up, draw the belly in. Hands come up, hold the block. Take the block back behind you to the floor. And we'll stick actually easier instructions if you then bring the block back up to the feet and then bring the feet down towards the floor. Not necessarily going all the way. If you know your back's sensitive, come to a sort of 45-degree angle, yeah? And then the blocks coming back up. Hands getting up to your head and shoulders can be coming off the ground to get the block. And then the block goes over the head. Block back up. Yeah, so and then legs down as far as is comfortable. Block back up in the air, into the hands over the head. So keep going with that, or if you want to move hands and feet in opposite directions at the same time to make it more challenging, then that's the other option. So you do both move away, and then once you've exchanged the block, both hands and feet move away, So it's up to you, okay, whichever version, you know what sort of day you've had and what's going to work best. Do that 2 more times. If it's feeling sensitive on the back, just bring your feet to the floor and abandon it. Last one. Great. Okay. And let that go. So come down, bring the feet onto the floor. So it's quite strong on the core, as well as working legs and hips and shoulders. We're going to take the rock to one side and do a climbing twist. So hands are coming out into a T shape. Legs are coming in towards body. And exhale over. So I'm going to the right. And I'm going to look at my left shoulder. Got my right hand to come onto my left knee, completely optional. Again, take some deep breaths and feel the way the breath opens up space in the body. And then bring the knees back up and over to the other side. If you're not getting much sensation, then you can intertwine the legs to make it a deeper stretch. There's quite a few options, or you can take the top foot onto, the bottom foot onto the top knee, whichever works for you. And then we're going to release, that's both sides done. Bring the knees towards the chest and the head towards the knees. And then release that. And now the feet on the floor. You can hit your block again. And do the same thing we did with the shoulders, but this time have the block with your hands splayed. And I've got my hands just on the edge of the block, so I can take it to the floor. If that's not, if you'd like to get the block or the cushion to the floor, so hold the block. If you can go lower, that will give you a stronger stretch. Exhale, block comes over the head. Inhale and back up. Exhale. Exhale. Inhale. Okay. Place the block to one side, everyone looking very good. We're going to roll over onto our front and do a shoulder stretch going the other way. So we're coming onto our front. Hands are in T shape. And then I'm going to demonstrate this. I'll keep my hands behind me. I'll do it sideways actually. So, got the T shape going on. And then you place, so in this example, I'm placing my left hand onto the floor, beside my chest. I've kept my right arm stretching out to the side. And then I'm turning, taking my left foot up and across the body, and the stretch is happening in the right shoulder. You don't have to get the foot to the floor, it's quite irrelevant. It's about the shoulder stretch in the extended arm, so that's the main thing, okay? If you've got some furniture that you can rest the foot on, take advantage of the fact you're at home. Or if you had people that were around who could put the blocks underneath the foot, that would be very good as well. And then come back and do the same on the other side. So stretching the arm out, hand beside the chest, and come over. And now I'd like you to reach back and get hold of the feet. And then on an inhale, we're going to lift up into back. So push back actively with the feet. That should lift the chest and pull the shoulders back. If you want to, you can rock a bit in back. Completely optional. Kick back, get that lift, and then release. Let the hands come in front of the head. You can do fists if you like, and then let the forehead rest down. Wiggle your bottom. We're going to do that twice, so rest for a minute. If that felt too strong, you can bring the feet up and have them behind you and arch the back. So you're in the sort of version of state, yeah? If that felt too strong on that. So we haven't done a lot to warm up the back. So if that felt too strong, please go with this version. Otherwise, reach back, get hold of the feet. You're rolling the thighs in. You're trying to keep the knees moving towards each other as you kick back. So on an inhale, kick back. The legs that are giving you the lift in the chest. Keep kicking back. And then release. Great. Again, a little wiggle of the bum to release. And then I'd like you to push back into downward dog. Walk dog, which means bending one knee and then the other. And then take your feet in slightly and bring your right arm to your left shin. It might be higher up, it might be the side, and then look under the left armpit. And the right elbow is going out to the side. You're tugging quite strongly. And then let that go and do the same on the other side, please. So now my left hand's come to my right thigh. It can be a shin, doesn't matter, if I get in a twist. And then release that. Walk the feet to the hands, or hands to the feet, and come up to slowly come up the standing with the hands facing towards each other. And you're using your core, you're moving up one vertebra at a time. Slowly come to standing. Okay. Take the hands onto the back of the body and do a gentle arch the other way. So belly's drawn in, arching back. The elbows fall towards each other. Okay. And release. So now get your blocks. You want to have like 4 inches, 6 inches size support for the foot. And this is working the calves. Okay, so that might be a little bit high for me. Let's see. And you might want to make sure you're near a surface so you can lean forward. So it might be your hands come to the ground. And really just depends on what you've been doing, how tight you are. So I'm putting my foot, all of the foot, so I've gone for right foot, all of the foot on the blocks, yeah? And you're going to just lift up, get that length of the body, and then exhale. And so you might want to hold on to something, or you might find hands come down. And they're just coming down. And this is a really nice stretch in the calf, okay? You can have the hands on the leg if that felt. You don't want to go too far. You want a stretch in the calf. And it's the whole of the leg, but you don't want any tugging at the top here in the hamstring. So go to where's comfortable, thinking that you can hold this position for 30 seconds, because we're doing a slow release. Okay, and then I want you to slowly come up, and then take the heel in towards your midline. So the foot's pointing, so the toes are pointing out, okay? And then repeat the same thing of lifting up. So you lift up with the hands if you want, the arms with that left. And then leading with the chest, coming forwards and releasing down. So the top, my toes are pushing into the block, got the ball of my foot on the block, and now it's taking the stretch into the side here, and possibly up into the IT band. Hopefully, okay? Same thing, relaxing, belly's drawn in, belly button towards spine, and then just release it. And then inhale, come up. And you guessed it, we're going to do pointing foot inwards now. So move the heel the other way, point foot inwards. You need to adjust your blocks, please do. This is where a big sturdy dictionary might be preferable. Okay, and same thing, raising up, exhale, folding forwards. Down to where you come to, and you'll feel the stretch is different in the leg. So I'm getting it on the inside now. Now inhale, so come up, do it again on the other side. Again, that's a good one. Or releasing tight calves. IT band, so placing, which I know Steph will keen to work on. Toes onto block, so it's pointing straight ahead. And then lifting up. Exhale, coming forwards. Take the hands above the head if you want to, but that might make you feel wobbly. Hold on to something. Lots of options. Shake the head, make sure there's no tension in the head. By now you should realise which leg's tighter. You can think about pulling the hip back of the extended leg as well, so pulling the hip back and seeing how that affects things. And slowly come up. Same thing, foot points out to the side, so heel to come in towards the centre. Fold forwards. And then inhale, come up, and last time, toes come in, across the midline. And slowly come up. Okay. So deep little release. So just wiggling one way and the other. But the standing knee strength nerves is working the sides of the legs as well. Rounding down through my left foot, pick up the right. So I've got hold of the leg behind, and then what you want to do is you want to, oh, I'm all wobbly, pull up with the hands, push down with the leg, so that's at the bent leg, and kick away, okay? So you're working the same muscles. Everyone all right? I'm wobbling a bit. So grounding down. Do that about 5 times. If you fall out of the pose like I just did, just get back in again. But it's active. You're making the legs really active by pulling up with the hands and pushing down with the thighs. So there's resistance going on, okay? And then it's slow, but it's as if you were trying to kick a ball. It doesn't matter if you don't get the legs straight. It's really not important. It's a good, strong stretch all the way down the back of the leg. So we're continuing to open up all the muscles in the back of the leg and on the side as well. Okay, so that's 5. Release that down. Same again on the other side. So grounding, spreading the toes, feeling solid in the pose. Are you ready? Get into your position, so pushing down with the leg, resisting with the arms, roll the shoulders back. And when you're ready, off you go. So this strengthens the ligaments as well on the side of the knee, so a really good one. The knee as well as glutes and hamstrings. So 5 times. And ankles, obviously, palms in pose. Great. So from there, we're going to come into a standing pose. We're going to come into tree. So again, this is grounding down again through the left. Pick up your right leg and place it against the thigh. You might have really slippy clothes like me. So that's the case. I also say, no, I'll just have a go at taking your leggings up at home. I was going to see you. And that should help get a bit of traction. Okay. Much better. Ready? Find something fixed to stay on. And if you're feeling solid, you can think about taking the arms up above the head, which just did it for me. And you can, if you want to tighten the shoulders, you can bring the hands together so the palms come together in prayer. Ooh, not happening today. That's fine, just be kind to yourself. So I'm going to go lower down. So a great metaphor. We'll swap and do the other side is to think. Sometimes you have wobbly days. And as you sway around, maybe imagine that the thoughts, if you've had a bit of a challenging day, so try and go the side and better. Try again. The thoughts are like the breath in the branches of the tree, making it sway. And then with the breath and the stability of your pose, you can bring yourself out of the head and into the body. And you might have a calming effect. You don't want to have the foot on the knee. That's really quite important that it's not on the knee. It's got to be above and below. So as you sway, think about that you're gathering thoughts down through and grounding them into the rest of your body, just coming out of your head. Too much planning, processing, and there's nothing like a wobble to make you focus. There you go, I've just fallen out. a wobbly tree pose. And to release down. Okay. And we're going to step back into downward dog. And then we're going to come into, so it's going to be like a lunge. And I want you to have cactus arms and take the knee down. And this is, don't worry, this is, we said it's going to be a gentle class. This will probably be the most challenging it gets, okay? So just step back into downward dog, just to release the legs. See how that feels. Take the right foot up in the air. And then bring it through. Coming up into Crescent Moon, this is called. And then I want you to just bend, so you're ducking, so the hands come up into cactus, and you're ducking your knee down towards the ground. So we're still working the quads and the legs, and hopefully it's a bit more open than earlier. Okay, so 3 times, duck it down, and then sort of lunge forward, step back, and do the other side. Fingers, yeah. So when you're ready, put the hands into cactus, and then the knee comes down, and back up, comes down, and back up. You might find the knee goes all the way to the floor, doesn't matter. It's really, it's more like a dip, okay? And then coming forwards, we're going to just rocking backwards and forwards. So I'm in the runner's lunge, and I'm rocking backwards and forwards. And then I'm going to drop my right knee down to the floor and lift the, so I've swapped it so my toes are now on the floor, or the top of the foot, and then I'm going to lift the knee up. So this is working again quite strongly with the hips, okay? Lift the knee off the floor, and you'll feel that right at the top. And then let that go. Get your blocks again, hopefully they're close to hand. Going to take, so I'll come forward so you can see me. Take my foot out to the side a bit, the front leg. And then, so we've come into half lizard. Okay. So you can use 1 block, you can use 2 blocks, you can stay up if you want. You can use the blocks to give you some height. And think about going onto the side of the foot. So you can't see my foot. Sorry about this, a bit to and fro tonight. Everyone all right? Yeah? Good. So it's optional. Some people prefer to come down. You might like to keep on this sort of working the side, working the ankles, or you might prefer to come down. It's whatever works for you, whatever feels good today, really. Respecting where you're at. You want to be somewhere where you can stay for a minute then. Okay, and then come back up. Just pull the foot toward, so you've gone to the heel now of the front foot. Again, you might want to have your blocks either side. Give you some support. Might not need it. Pull the foot. So you're not moving it, but pull on the heel. As if you were trying to drag the foot and the leg back, and like again will activate the whole of the back of the leg. Nice stretch, yeah? And then I would say, come into downward dog, to do the other side. So coming forward, take the foot back. Walk dog. And then bring opposite leg through. And the first thing we were doing was rocking backwards and forwards. So just rocking backwards and forwards, keeping the back leg high, hip high. sorry, not flopping. And then release the foot down. If I do it sideways. And you're switching, so you've got the top of the foot on the floor. Okay, and then your choice whether you do taking the leg out to the side or coming down lower, whatever works. Whatever you prefer, or it can be a combination of the two. You need to be comfortable. Aha, I think I forgot to do this, didn't I? When you take the foot off the floor, apologies. You take the knee off the floor and get a stretch in the top of the leg. So please do that. And then release down and then come into whichever version you want. Time. Oh, we're out of time. All right, so coming up, got my foot on the floor, and I'm curling it back towards me. Block. I'm really pulling that foot, just flexing, pulling the heel back in. Heel's not moving, but there's a stretch, an active stretch all the way down the back of it. Okay. And then let that go, and it's come to Shavasana. So wiggle out of that. Come onto your back. I will say do reclining butterfly before we go to full Shavasana. Just take the feet together and let the hips go wide. Wiggle your shoulders. Feel free to get a blanket or a jumper if that's going to be helpful. Once you're in reclining butterfly, just wiggle and get some broadness across the chest. And release. Feel the hips opening. And now you can come from here, bring the feet together, so the knees together, so you encourage the outside of the legs up, and you can stay in recuperative rest if you know your back's sensitive, and we've been working the back, lower back. Or you can let the feet slide to the floor into traditional Shavasana. Encourage the feet to turn out, create some space in the hips. Have the palms facing up, or have the palms on your belly. Completely up to you. Use your block if you've got one near to hand. If you can see the ceiling behind you, sorry, the wall, do put the block right at the last adjustment underneath the head, just to release the neck. And then if it's comfortable to close the eyes, I would encourage you to close the eyes. If you don't find that comfortable, then please keep them open. But it can facilitate a sense of going inwards. And then big inhale through the nose, and exhale through the mouth. You can do that 3 times. Inhale through the nose. Unless it's uncomfortable, in which case, please let it go. Otherwise, exhaling through the mouth. And then the last one, inhaling through the nose. Letting go of anything that's been bothering you on the exhale. Just let it all go. Give it up to the air, to the earth, to the floor. Let it take it as your body relaxes. As you feel yourself sinking towards the ground, imagine any concerns you've got floating away with the exhale of the breath. Feel the weight of the head, back of the head. Check the jaw, check there's no clenching in the jaw. Feel the shoulders in contact with the floor. And the arms, possibly tops of the arms, or perhaps all of the arms. For the upper back and the lower back. All these points of contact, the hips, see if you can release. Just by bringing your attention there, that's enough. That can create a muscular release. And then feeling the backs of the legs, upper legs and lower legs, and the heels. So feeling all those points of contact, all those points of potential release. And then, as you breathe in, breathing in, I'm breathing in. And breathing out. And breathing out. So connecting to the breath, just as we did at the start of the class with the alternate nostril breathing. Breathing in, breathing out. In, out. Relaxing, letting go. Relaxing, letting go. And just repeat that to yourself with the inhale and the exhale. Relaxing, letting go. And then feel free to stay in Shavasana. You are at home. If you don't have to get up, the longer you can stay, the more you'll get the benefits of the session. So don't feel you have to come to sitting. So if your tummy's rumbling, or you know you've got to ease yourself back, then possibly come into knees to chest, or stretching the arms above the head and pointing the toes, or reclining twist, which is what my body wanted to do. And if it's reclining twist, then you need to, always advisable, you don't have to do anything. Advisable to do both sides. If you were stretched out, then please come into a fetal position. And then very slowly make your way up to sitting. Or stay as long as you can. I really enjoy it. I think I'm just gonna wave and go, because some of you are looking very blissed out. So you just do a little wave at a distance. Have a good evening, everyone. Lovely to see you.